Okay, welcome to the bigger picture. We had some technical issues there. That's what you get when you start to experiment with stuff. Thank you, Steve, for ending the live stream, by the way, if you're listening. Welcome. We have a very special guest today, and the guest is Paul Carpenter. Paul Carpenter is a very interesting fellow with a lot of background. He's a hypnotist, he's a mentalist, he's a book writer, he's an AI expert. He has been involved in many interesting things, and he's been around the world, investigated the paranormal. And I think the conclusion is, what is the conclusion, Paul?
We're screwed.
That was also our conclusion.
We're done. No, I think that we're living in a beautiful mystery that's amazing and unexplainable. And anybody who tells you the answer that they think they have is the truth is completely wrong.
Yeah, I totally concur with that conclusion. And yeah, this will be a very fun and engaging chat, I think. And yeah, before we went live, or actually, this is the third time we tried to go live, but like we wanted to do a magic trick, and you have something really cool up your sleeve, and maybe
yeah. Let me. So I was, I think, 28 years old, so about 20 years ago, and I reached out to Ripley's Believe It or Not. And I told them that I knew how to bend forks, and they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Can you really do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do it." And I sent them photos of me doing this exact effect, which is this. Here we go.
I'm gonna make you bigger, okay?
Okay, sure, no problem. Yeah. I'll wait for it. There we go. Here we go. So you see it; it's already happening. You can actually get it to. Maybe I can even.
Awesome. Yeah. Amazing.
Get it to. See, but if you break it, that's not good. You actually have to put it back together, and that's when you know that it's much better. You know what I mean? That's the whole concept, at least.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's just tricks, I started getting into the idea of hypnosis and magic around 10. And started learning hypnosis around 13, and got into neuro-linguistic programming and all of it at a very early age. So the idea for me of wanting to learn what I'm in, right, and trying to figure it out as much as possible. I became a psychonaut at the age of 14. So I did my first hit of acid at 14. Wow. And I've done 3 months of ayahuasca ceremonies, one every week for 12 weeks. And then during the week, I was also smoking DMT. So I did 3 months of basically not being on the planet Earth.
Wow. You must have some crazy stories to tell.
I have some fun ones. I lived with Bedouins in Egypt in the Sinai Peninsula for 2 months. I studied to be a rabbi in Israel for a year.
Wow.
Then I went and lived in Tel Aviv for a year. I backpacked across Europe for a year, just doing magic on the streets with nothing but a backpack and some tricks and some cards in the pocket. What's that?
Is there anything that you haven't done? Maybe we should start there.
I'm trying to think. I haven't swum with sharks yet. I've skydived recently. I've never bungee jumped, but I wouldn't be worried about it. Yeah. I don't know. Pretty much anything. I'll do anything. I have no issue with anything. The thing to me is, like, as long as 1,000 other people did it before I did it, and there's some form of safety sanction behind it, and there's a rule of law of how to go through it and not do it in a dangerous manner, but do it in a safe manner, I'm in.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If skydiving in the last 10 years has gone through leaps and bounds. I mean, massive leaps. with the way that canopies are made, the way that, I mean, you can even get canopies now based on whether you wanted to do speed or whether you wanted to do tricks or whether you're looking to, just learn, and how many cells you have. There's so much technology and just alone in falling tech. So let's say both or one of your chutes comes out, doesn't work, gets wrapped up, whatever happens. And the second one, for some reason, you pass out. There's now, safety devices that at 1,000 feet that hits and it goes no matter what, and it pops. So there's a lot of safety in the art form of skydiving.
So now anybody can jump, basically. Any idiot.
I think anybody could have jumped, 20 years ago. It's just, did you have the balls to do it? Like the people who were doing base jumping. I think the first time it was ever done was in the 1960s, and it was a guy. I think he did it in Pikes Peak in Colorado. And I think he was the first person to ever do it. He literally had like a 9 or 10 pound camera on his head,
wow,
connected to a helmet, and that's what he used to record himself jumping off of the sides of mountains back in the day, when they were just figuring out if they could base jump in the first place. I wonder if we can. Yeah, let's go find out.
So he sort of dove head first also, right? Because your head will be heavier with, a cam like that on his...
Yeah, so usually when you base jump, you're holding part of the canopy, right? So if there's, if you will, to the actual chute, and the way that it's folded and placed into your sack, if you want to call it that. And so what happens is you have a small ball, you have a ball that's connected to a small, want to call it a leader, that goes, and when you throw that up, that's what actually pulls all of the rubber bands that are connected to the lead of both of the of your leads for your parachute, right? So those are all intertwined with, and then so when you throw out that first piece, the air picks up that small chute, that then pulls the rest of the actual main, and then that's what then opens up. If done correctly and folded correctly, it should open very smoothly. But there are many different ways in which it does not open smoothly. And those are not good. None of those are good moments. There's not one situation in which it does not open right where you're not happy, or where you are happy, I should say. Which luckily I've never had to deal with. I've only jumped 3 times, but I have packed many chutes. I've hung out with some of the most famous, skydivers in the world, and gotten to just kind of hang out with them. But only have jumped ever in my life 3 times, and only once ever landed myself, which is having, your own control of the chute. And that one time that I did that, which was just a year or 2 years ago, was absolutely devastatingly the scariest thing I've done. I didn't worry about jumping out of the plane. I didn't worry about the chute, because for the most part you have, somebody there and they're helping you along the way. The only thing I worried about was landing, because I've seen so many lands where, for instance, and I'll start kind of do it like this. If this is the chute, right, and the guy is underneath, you're a pendulum. You're literally the end of a pendulum. So if the wind all of a sudden cuts like this, and you're 5 feet off the ground here, like right here, and the wind just goes woo like that, then all of a sudden you're now 15 to 20 feet off the ground. And you're now getting pulled this way, and your weight is going to go this way. So, and you have no control over your body really at that point. It's like something just went, and you're like, oh God, and then you hit the ground. And I've seen people do that at, I don't know, 45, 90 miles an hour. They're coming in for a dive. They're trying to do like a cool move where they're going to slide on the grass, and the wind just changes because the wind does that. And out of nowhere, right when they're coming in and they have this perfect thing, the wind cuts in a different direction, and then all of a sudden their canopy kicks out, and then they just go and they eat. You know, that and motorcycles, because I've also been riding motorcycles most of my life. That's the other dangerous thing, you know, that you could think about. Like I rode for 2 years with my dog just recently, just 2 years ago. We rode
through
for
the country, like a road trip?
Yeah, for 2 years. Yeah, 2 year road trip, if you want to call it that. I traveled from Houston all the way to Key West, Florida. So, and I spent obviously time along the way in different places, or would just jump back and forth. At one point, I lived. Friend of mine had a ranch. It was a like $5 million ranch, 5 acres, 2.5 acre lake, right next to a horse sanctuary. So I would go to the horse sanctuary and I would get to clean out the hooves that were, you know, because these horses were completely destroyed. And I would just hang out. I did that for like 2 months, just hung out on a ranch. And then go ahead.
Yeah, is that what motivated you to go on that road trip? And you know, as a more general question, like what motivates you to do all these different things, and what makes you switch from one to the other? Like what's the
so many questions? So okay, first part of it is lifestyle, which ends up becoming like a leaf in the wind kind of conceptual idea. For many years, I used to call it being living faith-based life. Like if you're faith-based in your life and you're only pushing towards being a good person and doing good things and sharing good memories and that kind of mentality and energy about you, then it doesn't matter what you do. It really doesn't matter what you do. And if you can carry something along the way, i.e. a magic trick or a this or that or whatever, that makes you a little bit more interesting than just the regular person who's there to just do a drum circle and listen to the music and dance and do drugs. But you can actually do something. You can bring some kind of magic to the party. It only makes you that much more interesting. It only makes you that much more easily invited into someone's home. You know, so
would you say that would you say that sort of your main purpose or goal in life is to get as many experiences as you can possibly get? Is that sort of what drives you?
Man, I can answer a couple different ways. Like, yeah, sure, that's it. But like the real truth of the answer is that trauma creates forms of what's the word I'm looking for the trauma response? It's a you do everything that you can to be liked by people based on trauma, certain styles of trauma, right? So for many years of my life, all I did was chase fame. I didn't care how fame came. I just knew that fame equaled money and in some form freedom from quote unquote rat race mentality. So for me, I was a singer when I was 6 years old. So I was a singer until I was 20. I was in a band. I got signed to a record label. It was with Universal. The band breaks up. I got signed by Sony. That didn't work out. I ended up going. So the name of the band was called Pull Out. And then the other band that I was signed was called Supernatural at the same time that the TV show Supernatural was around. And it was a lead singer who was a bass player who saw me win the Battle of the Bands at Hard Rock Cafe in Miami for the second year in a row with my band. And so he was like, yo, dude, your band's about to break up. They're all leaving you, blah, blah, blah. Come to me. And so my band breaks up literally 4 months later. One guy goes to another band who ends up going to Europe, and they end up almost getting signed in a whole thing. They were called The Brand. And so I go to him. That doesn't work out. I then go and did an audition for a TV show called In Search of the Partridge Family on VH1 in Orlando. and I leave Florida and I go to LA, and I make it to the top 5 finalists to be Keith Partridge on the Partridge Family. So I'm like 28 years old in LA and basically about to win it. And then even the executive producer at the time of the show had come up to me and was like, yo, I just want to let you know that we're already all talking in the back, and you are by far the person we want to lead this thing. Like you're apple pie, cinnamon sugar, perfect. We love you, like, go boy, go. So we go to do this weird, and I haven't told this story, I don't think, on the internet before. We go to do this tour of Grauman's Chinese Theater. And when we get there, we're in a Hummer limo. Okay. And it's just me and the other 4 contestants and David Cassidy in the limo, and a chaser van behind us, like, Chevy chaser van or whatever, that has the production crew in it. And I sat against the window, and David was at the door back seat, and everything was cool. We're all hanging out. David liked me. I think the reason that I was getting the thumbs up is because David liked me, period. And he was the big producer of the show. He had a lot of money involved in the show. So then we get there, and he goes, oh, no, don't open the door, because someone else tried to open the door. And he goes, wait, let a crowd form. And so the production crew comes, and they grab all the cameras, and they start putting the camera on the Hummer limo that has rims that are spinning. Hilarious. And there's nobody really showing up. Small, tiny crowd of like maybe 10, 15 people trying to figure out, like, what's this limo in front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater? What's this camera crew? And David opens the door and he goes, it's me, ladies and gentlemen, David Cassidy from the Partridge Family. Nobody knew who he was. It was 1998. Like, nobody knew who David Cassidy was anymore. And it just was a really embarrassing moment. And then we all, come out of the car, and the production crew is like, okay, there's 2 camera setups. So one kind of in the front following David. And there, mind you, there's 5 other guys, and I'm second or last in line, and then the camera guy. And I'm not doing this on purpose or anything. I'm just kind of lackadaisically following along. And now we're looking at things on the ground and the handprints. And David's like, oh, look, this is this person. Oh, I know this person. I filmed this movie with them and blah, 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 fucking 1950 something. And so, we're all having this moment, right? And then as I'm walking and the camera's following, this girl walks up to me and goes, oh my God, are you Paul Carpenter from the Arch Family? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, I love you. Da, da, da. And out of nowhere, right, camera just immediately cuts the line and comes and pulls around to me and the girl. And she's like, oh, my mom loved Insert Parts of this Family, da da da. And I go, oh, well, where's your mom? Because she's right there. And I go, oh, come say hello to everybody at home. As if I've been doing this for years, or whatever. Now, within this, I don't go, oh, wait, your mom loves David Cassidy? Right? This is the thought that this is what I did not do correctly. And this is what lost everything. And so I'm doing this whole thing, and the mother and the high and the camera at home. My move should have been wait and run to David and be like, David, come here, and grab him, whether he wants me to or not, and bring him in and be like, oh my God, you have to meet Susan. Yeah. She's your biggest fan. Her daughter just it came up to me and wanted to meet me, but her mother has loved you for years. If I would have done that, I would be at the level of Emma Stone today, who was on the television show with me. That was the thing that was
Oh.
the first thing that she ever did was that TV show. By the way, she would have been famous no matter what. Her father is a massive real estate mogul, had more than enough money to get her in from the get. So it would have happened no matter what. But phenomenal actress. If you haven't seen the new movie that just came out, please go see it. Absolutely ridiculously. What I even wrote a whole article about it. Well, I didn't. ChatGPT did. This movie is the last great film before AI. Like it is the most well scripted, well written cinematography, just the every single part of the design of that film, everything that leads you down this primrose path to get slapped in the face, and you're just like, what's going on? And it's one of those movies that has one of the endings where you don't want that ending to happen, but that's what happens. But it makes it that much better this time than any other way it could have happened. The film is a course in how to make an amazing film. Period.
Which movie is that? Is that
it's Begonia.
Begonia? Okay.
Bugonia, and it's a story of a man who's into conspiracy theories. This leads perfectly into what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he loses himself in this conspiracy theory, believes that she's an alien, and him and his mentally challenged cousin, who he manipulates into believing these ideas, and he then takes her and takes her and cuts her hair off. And that's the first thing she asks in the movie. She's like, what did you do to my hair? And he's like, I cut off your hair so you couldn't talk to the aliens. And she's like, you did what? It's so good. It's so good. Such a good movie. I'm not going to kill it. It's like, again, I could say it over and over and over again. This is absolutely the last great film from humanity before AI.
Okay.
I have not seen anything in the last 5 years that comes other than the movie that was just recent that just came out that was from G.I. Jane. She played G.I. Jane. Come on, how am I forgetting these people?
You mean the Substance, Demi Moore? Or what?
What an amazing film.
Yeah, I actually watched it twice recently with Halloween with my nephews. It was really good.
The fact that they used practical effects in that film made that movie so much better.
And there's this whole discussion, right? Is it a feminist movie or is it the opposite of a feminist movie?
I think it's a hardcore feminist movie. And in its way, pleading with women to not lose the mark, which I think many women have, unfortunately, in what I would say like third wave, fifth wave feminism, which is just way past anything that was supposed to be. First wave feminism wasn't even real, in my opinion. Second wave feminism is where it was really at. Third wave feminism is where they start to go a little feminazi, as they call them. and then you have your Karens on the street.
Feminism is dying. Nobody cares about that anymore.
Well, I think feminism is, if you want to get really weird, feminism has been twisted, and I write this in my last book.
Agreed.
Which is called Was Hitler Right? Which is a very heavy book for a Jew to write. But I wrote this at the same time that Kanye West came out with his new song, which was Heil Hitler. Niger Heil Hitler was the song. And phenomenal song, by the way. I actually listened to it. It's quite deep if you look at the lyrics. If you look,
It's like in the top 10 hit list, right?
One more time.
In the top 10 hit list.
I mean, listen. If you listen to the song and you listen to and you look at the lyrics and you understand why he's saying the words in the first place, and what he's trying to create as a juxtaposition of these words. It's not that and the reason that he's like, you know what, screw it, I'll become the villain, I'll become your Hitler. Get it? Point the finger at me. I'm good with it. I don't care. I'm Kanye West. I'm cuckoo and like cabeza. So it doesn't matter. Right? Like you have to, certain characters within society that are just so far ahead of the game that you just can't do anything about it. Like they've spoken it. It's going to happen. You know, we, as we were saying before the show, when we talk about like Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai. Forget it. The kid was like, what, 20 years ahead of the game. When you're talking about, any one of the short stories from Isaac Asimov, we're talking about somebody who's so far ahead of the curve. You know, somebody who was like on the inside of the inside in the 1960s when barely only 20 years prior, Jeffrey Hinton is even coming up with a neural network. And the first, type of chatbots are coming around, like the Eliza chatbot that you could use in 1964. So like that's like cool stuff, like granted it wasn't a real chatbot, granted it wasn't what we have today, but the fact that there was something like that.
Well, technically the current one is not even the real AGI. It's just like a learning model, right?
Well, yeah,
so we are still
but Sid,
way further away from AGI.
I wrote an article about this some time ago because people were having a fight with me about this. And I had two major fights with people. And one of them, and I don't want to call them fights, but discussions. And the first one is if we're looking at AI as having an IQ, which it doesn't, but if we were going to kind of give an equivalency of it, right now, the average IQ of all of the major LLMs, DeepSeek, OpenAI, all of them, right, is about 150 IQ. Some a little bit more, some a little bit less, depending on whether it's math or whether it's English or whether it's this or whatever.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, about 150 IQ. So every iteration is equal to 10 times whatever it was prior. So every 2 years, we get another iteration. So if we're looking at about another 2 years, and we're about to hit that flesh mark because we already came through everything that just happened. So that new ones are going to be 1,500 IQ. And then the next one will be 15,000 IQ. Yeah. And we haven't even gotten anywhere near quantum IQ connected to. We haven't even touched that yet. We haven't even touched that concept. So like brute forcing any encryption created by man. I don't care what you say about Bitcoin. I don't care unless Satoshi is an alien.
No, yeah. No, also Bitcoin is not safe with quantum computing and AI. Bitcoin is
not
dead.
that it's not safe. It's not that it's not safe. It's just that everybody wants to hold on the laurels that Bitcoin is non-decrypted. You cannot decrypt a Bitcoin bit hash or bit rate, which, in my opinion, anything man makes can be broken. If you're a hacker, you know that, and if you're a hacker, you believe that. And if you have enough compute data and enough brute force data, you can break into anything in this world. So
Yes.
if you had an AI, sorry, Sid, if you had just an AI and the only thing you built that thing to do was to just go break every encryption there is, that's what it will do. And it will do it.
It will do.
There's
Yes.
nothing in my mind that says it won't. I've talked to the biggest guys in the industry, and when I say this to them, they're like, but what about the AI that makes a better encryption? Really? Really?
I don't
Say
buy
that to
that
me?
at all.
What? Yeah, it's like I've been watching this commercial lately, and I'll get into my second fight. But I've been watching this commercial lately with Tony Robbins, and he's been using this one statement that everybody's using, which is complete crap. At least only about 2 years left, and that's all you've got. And it's like, you don't have 2 years, you have 3 months, because the person who knows AI is going to beat the person who doesn't use it. And I'm like, that's actually not true, by the way, because about 2 years from now, AI will know everything. It's like telling somebody like, oh, go become a prompt engineer because you're going to have a job. Where are the prompt engineers today? They're all gone, because we learned that AIs can prompt engineer better than the prompt engineers. So like, why do I need a prompt engineer?
So this leads to an interesting question, right? Because what is your vision of the future? I mean, like,
it's really dystopian.
Yeah, okay. Really, let's go there, and also give us some time scales, like because
no problem. I got you 100. All of this, by the way, is in my books. If you want to give away my books, please do. I gave you the links earlier, but I can post them again. I have 9 books that I've written. The first book is called The 7 Types of Humans. Which it starts to talk about this. So all of this is these first books is a preface to the rest of the conjoining books that go along that explain how crazy these ideas are. Right. So like, first I tell you crazy ideas, and then I go, wait, I know I sound crazy, but here's the science for why this is real. And here's the sociology behind why this is real. And here's the history behind why this is real. And here's some conspiracy theory as well, just to throw it all down. But so 7 Types of Humans goes like this. In the future and or right now, there are more types of humans that are different than each other than ever before. So if you go with just indigenous, people who have never seen a computer in their life, then there's people like you and I who have computers, have cell phones, and are semi-androidic, in the sense that if I lose my phone, I start to trip out. Somebody has my cell phone, somebody has my credit cards, they have this, they have that. Oh my God, they got my life basically when they take my phone, right? The third type is going to be a genetically modified person. And we have people that have been genetically modified in some way, shape, or form in the last 15 years, where it was happening in Japan, China, where people were choosing the type of birth or color of their eyes or so on, certain different things. So this has already happened. And this has already happened, right? This person of a computer, half man in their pocket, then genetically, then now we have technologically modified. So we have Neuralink. We have 4 different people who have Neuralinks in their body. This is a reality. We have people playing World of Warcraft with their brain and never touching a mouse. So that's a reality. That's a type of human that's alive right now. The 5th will be genetically modified. So now, so let me go through these again. So we have indigenous, person with a cell phone, genetically modified, technologically modified, and then the 5th one is going to be AI supervised or overlorded. So we have this already. This is China credit score system. Everybody's recorded. Walk across the wrong street at the wrong time, you get a ticket. You don't get to go on the bus. You don't get to do this, that, or the other. And it's already been proven through science, through psychology, that anybody who lives under this has a different genetic genome structure than the regular human, other than because they live in a fear-based mentality. So their genes start to change. They start to shift and become different.
Like
styles of-
epigenetically.
Right, exactly. Sorry, my light just went out. Whoa.
I'm curious.
AI is attacking us now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 100. It's like, stop talking about it. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
guys.
no. So far, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I would totally
Yeah,
agree.
while he's fixing it,
All right, here we
it,
go.
I'll
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
Oh, you're back anyway. Let's go.
Yeah. So then the next type would be what I call really. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, it's definitely an AI attack right now.
I'm telling you, I can feel it. I feel them. My DNA is changing as I speak with you.
Fear.
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna here. Hold on. I'm gonna do it this way. Let's see if I can. I can reach. It can make it. It can. No, it won't. Oh my God! What is going on with life?
You're still visible. What did you want to say, Sid? Before?
No, I was going to say like there is no good future with AI. It's all dystopian destruction. What I believe is going to be first we're gonna see alien versus artificial intelligence war. Alien gonna attack, and then AI will defend us, and then AI will become our overlord, and then
This is
demons
great.
come.
That's a good one.
And then demons gonna come and possess those bodies of AI like robots, and they
I
will
think
be the
you
leader.
should write a book together.
Your story is so much better than mine. Like so much better. Mine is so much plain. It's so much more plain than yours. So let's go to the next one. The sixth is what I would call the techno oligarch, the person who has tons of money that can use any form of scientific advancement to change their body, make themselves younger, use their son's blood. Wink, wink. Somebody's already doing this, by the way. He spent like $2.5 million in the last couple of years on himself to de-age himself. Look him up.
Jeff Bezos?
No, I'll tell you who it is now. I'll look him up.
But
think he's
I feel like Jeff Bezos is
Is
doing
it
the
just
same
one
thing.
person or is it multiple persons?
right now. It's just one guy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that was the sixth type. So the
And
sixth type.
that was 6, and then the last is a genetically modified nano babies.
Yeah.
So
I
basically,
call them the blockchain babies.
the blockchain babies. There you go. That's right. Yeah. So the person I was talking about is Brian Johnson. And he's even been using he's been doing transplants or not transplants, but blood transfusions with his son.
Huh.
So, and this is a very old idea that comes from the 1890s. There was a doctor that found a man that had problems with his liver, and he found a young boy, and they started doing blood transfusions with this teenage boy, and the young boy didn't get sick, but the old man got younger. His liver and his disease went away. And what was found out was that the young boy's body was basically so young and so healthy that it was able to clean out the badness of the blood, and he was getting good blood from this young boy. So then the body started to heal itself.
Impurity.
And so it's a very old concept. It's a real concept, you know. So where were we? Number 7 is like I said, genetically modified nano babies, in which, yes, that's Brian Johnson.
That's Brian Johnson. How old is he?
He is 50 or something, and now he looks about 35. He's done quite well with the de-aging. And he says that he found some. All of this has been done under the guise of saying that he's looking to create something for humanity to de-age all of humanity.
Of course.
Right. So that's where he's going with this, and he's willing, he says, to do this test to himself. At one point, his face was completely unrecognizable. They had done some kind of infusion and something, and totally his body just pushed it way out and his face blew up, and it was a whole thing.
Wow.
I've been keeping up with most of the story. Then there's somebody else, if you want to look up something really cool, it's called The Odin, Theodin, The Odin. And this is a guy who's in California who will sell you a kit so you can learn how to use CRISPR. So CRISPR is the mRNA vaccine or whatever it was created for the COVID vaccine. mRNA, CRISPR mRNA, or what's called the Cas9 chimera gene, was created by two female scientists. And what this allows it to do is to go into a live strand of DNA. And when it finds a palindrome of a sequence, it's able to go into the sequence and cut it and then implant the sequence that you want to go where the sequence was cut out. So that idea is what was used in the vaccine that was then used for the COVID vaccine. So there's a conspiracy theory that goes around now by a woman who I spoke to on LinkedIn. And she goes around telling everybody that because if they took the COVID vaccine, you are now no longer human and you are owned by a corporate entity. And it's one of the three corporate entities that used the patent for this CRISPR Cas9 chimera gene editing tool. Now, the thing is that the gene editing isn't of the person. The gene editing was of the actual virus itself. At least that's what they told people on TV.
Yeah.
And so that's that conspiracy theory. That's that thing. My other fight, to go way back, let's see, what was the first fight? The first fight was I forgot what I was talking about.
Gene editing. Odin.
No,
Brian Johnson.
way back. I told you there were two fights. There were two things that, and I forgot what I was talking about when I was telling you what they were.
The AI fight.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah. The fight, just the fights about what's going to happen. So, So the second, just the fights with AI, what people believe and don't believe that I think are going to happen pretty much inevitably. And the second thing is that there is this idea that we're special. And this is unfortunately a thing of ego and delusion of humanity. Like that's all we've ever been. It's very delusional monkey machines. And then on top of that, we're very egotistical, delusional monkey machines. And we place ourselves on pedestals that are undeserving or imaginary. So if you look at the tree of life, you always see a human being outside of the tree looking up at the tree of life instead of being part of the tree of life. And in that same delusion is where people think that our intellectual and writing soul is so special that it should be lauded, applauded. That is where the ego then lies again, right? And so when I say to people, when I say to them, like, they're like, oh, AI, like this was one of the big arguments was, well, when you're in a band, you may not understand this, Paul. I'm like, I've been in a band. Relax, bro. You may not understand this, but sometimes when you're playing, like you get off beat or something happens and the music stops and the lead singer still sings. AI could never reproduce that. And I was like,
I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mr. Show, but they have this sort of sketch where they sort of make the same argument, and then he says, like, this is like a pickup player and you miss the pings and pangs, you can't reproduce that with a CD player. And it's like the sort of the same
right, that same argument, right? And I'm like, Well, I don't know how much you know about AI, first of all, but if you just think of like training models and like just in the like game style training models, like where all it is uh call it like a Pavlovian, positive response model. And you just watch like iterations and you're like, this has happened, over a week and it did this, 50 million times. I promise
Oh,
you, one of those times it did the thing that you say it didn't do, you
yeah, and
know?
then I mean, you had this really famous one with the Go player, right? Which is a big thing in China and Japan and Korea, and you got these world-class Go players, which are phenomenal brains, and people, playing that game for all their lives. They're actually selected from childhood by
Yep.
governments to play the game because it's
Yep.
also a strategic significance, with game planning and game theory. And
Yeah.
they were
So I
beaten. They were
mentioned that to some
completely.
people.
Uh,
Go ahead. Go
the,
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the AI made some moves, and they say like, "Oh no, that's not allowed." Who play, I think it started in the middle or something. They were like, "Oh, well, what kind of idiot is gonna do this?" And then was completely wiped off the map. And then afterwards, AI started playing against each other, and they're now like light years ahead of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned this exact same thing to somebody, and then that person goes, "Oh yeah, but that guy beat the Go machine," and I was like, "Once,
Yeah, once.
Yeah, but
once,"
once,
and if you watch the documentary, his life has been ruined. He's literally in a corner crying today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen the documentary, but it's really crazy. The guy who went against the Go, like the same thing with Gary Kasparov. Kasparov is a shell of the man that he used to be, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is something that I talk about a lot. That they're like, I say to people like, and this is a big jump, by the way, what I'm saying, and I say it to be cocky, but I go, look, dude, 2 years from now, robots are going to be, plumbers and
Yeah.
underwater deep
Yeah.
sea welders, and they're like, it'll never happen. And now, like less than like a week later, unfortunately, that this robot was the one that came out, but the $20,000 you can have robot that's at your house
yeah,
that we find out throughout the entire interview, it's actually a guy driving the robot and there's nobody. So, which means if anybody buys this $20,000 robot, there's going to be a kid in Indonesia who lives in a box.
or an Indian man over
A
there.
humunculus. A
You
humunculus.
think I'm joking? I am not joking.
No, no, this is
And
true, and probably an Indian guy, not even an Indonesian guy.
or an Indian kid who lives in a box, and every time he hears the bell ring, he runs out. He puts on his headset. He's like, "Hi, hello, I am your robot." Swear on my life, that's what's going to happen. It's going to
But
become this very dystopian. Well, we didn't have the AI ready yet, and we needed to. We had no choice, so we hired 20,000 people to do the thing, and it works. It works.
So, but
Yeah.
basically, you're saying like basically the mankind has been dethroned a couple of times, right? With the Copernican revolution, when they thought Earth was at the center of the universe, and then you
Yep.
had like, of course, Darwin, who said like we're descended from apes, and then you got Freud, and it said like basically we're run by our irrational subconscious, and you're saying like, oh, but also your soul and spirit is it's kind of, if you let AI run its iterations, it turns out that you're not that.
I just want to come back to
Well,
those
I mean,
humanoid robots. Like
so
they
so
are,
let's move
they're
into
giving
the.
access to some humans. No, no, I want to come back to that because like
Okay, go ahead,
somebody can
go ahead.
hack in.
Sensitive.
Yeah, somebody can hack in and kill someone. It could be a contract killer from India or from Indonesia
Great
killing
idea.
someone in England, and you cannot trace it. It's like a very dangerous idea.
What about all the people who are like gang related who now know where all of your jewelry is in your home?
Exactly.
How
It's like a very
I mean,
bad idea to
this
give
goes on
human
and on.
access.
We could go Black Mirror style with this forever. So let's move to book number 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Book number 2 is called The Five War Theory. So it explains the next 5 major war style events
I like your
for the
cover.
next, I would say about 100 years, maybe less, depending on how fast or slow things go. But the first of the 5 wars is what we're dealing with today, which is a religious ideological war based on good and evil, which ends at the end of this war. There's no such thing as good or evil. It either works or does not work over millennia.
Yeah.
So
Pragmatism wins.
human choice is out of that equation. So it either works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, we're not doing it anymore. Whether you like it or not, don't do it. And if you do it, you're no longer inside the glass castle hanging out with the robots and the AI and the transhumans. If you want to go do that, then go be a monkey person in the trees and go live half, monkey, half techno, hippie, Burning Man style. Go do that.
What you're basically saying is like this war will filter out the irrational and will only leave sort of the rational and the pragmatic and the efficient.
Right. It will lead to an AI overlord. Yeah. Is what we're leading to down the primrose path of what the 5 wars do. Right. So the second of the 5 wars is what is the chasm that is created by the technology that is infiltrating at the moment. So you have those who accept and those who do not accept, those who are against AI right now already saying AI is taking my job, AI is bad for art, AI is bad for this, AI, right? And then you have the other people like, what are you talking about, dude? I just cured cancer and there's no more Alzheimer's and, people are living to 2,000 years old and you guys are crazy. You're still living to 40 and you're dying in the woods. Whatever, people. While we're over here, techno infused, and soon we have little dots on our head, and we're like bloop, Black Mirror style into another world, which is what my Sora TV show called Stuck in the Machine is all about. It's about being stuck in a video game machine that was made by the guy who makes the machine. He goes in and he gets stuck inside of this loop of a video game that is supposed to only be one life, but because the machine's broken, he starts living like 20 million, like I think it's 38 billion, 350 million lives all at the same time. And his psyche's like obviously, breaking into a million pieces, and he's losing his brain and his sight. Blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing. The third of the wars is when humanity finally comes to a point and goes, oh, wait, we went too far. We need to stop these things from being our everything. Because we end up leaving it all to them. We leave it all the work. We leave all of the technology, all of the economy. Everything is going to go to the AI. Everything is going to go to the robots in the long run, no matter what. Because when you have something that's a 1,500 IQ compared to Bob and Susie, semi-geniuses, there's no comparison. But, not even if you have 20. Go ahead.
What is the long run year?
The long run it's really weird, but it goes, and I go farther into my books, but this is the reason for transgender. This leads to transhumanism, which has the exact same ideology as transgender. And so all of this is, now we're going to get into the esoteric. Now we're going to get into the weird stuff. There's 2 types of people on this planet, and this includes the Jews of the world. Okay. Because everybody's like, the Jews.
No, the people who call the Jews or the Jews.
I'm a Jew. All right. So, but like Kanye's not Jewish and he says the Jews. Anyways. But there's 2 types of people on this planet. Those that believe there's an afterlife, those that believe that there's a God, those that believe that there's a soul, and those that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The atheist. The materialist.
It could be people who pretending to be religious, but they don't actually believe in that.
And that's still the don't give a shit route. You can fake it. You can fake it all you want, but if what you want, intention is the choice. Intention is your soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you die, you give up. You show your cards.
And so you have two types of people on the earth. One that want the Tower of Babel, and those who are like, yo, what are you thinking doing a Tower of Babel? I thought we went through this already. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's what you're dealing with. So people who are creating AI at this present moment are doing everything they can to create the Tower of Babel in a technological form and function in which we have the Library of Alexandria, which can think for itself, do for itself, and be for itself, and be its own God, so that we ourselves can then learn how to technologically become conscious light so that we can be like the God that we created.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but the problem is
the next war. The next war. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one.
Wait. But okay, but that was the third war, right? We're talking the third one.
So third war, humanity's like, yo, we got to stop, and they start to fight the robots, trying to stop the AI, trying to stop the robots. All of this starts to happen. The people who went to the go ahead.
Is that the moment that they realize that they can't be like the AI and that they think like, oh my God, what did we do? And we're screwed.
I think that that's already been happening on the people who are living in the forest, who are like the cyber hippies. They said that from day one, right? They said that from day one. And then what happens is, of course, like anything in life, the flow of nature of energy and flows, that energy, which is so pulling this direction, slowly gets absorbed in this area. And the people who are not transhuman, who are over here, the people who are robots that do become their own sentient beings, that do want to become human, that don't want to be a robot, that want to run away from the AI overlords, all of this will end up coming over to this side. So now what you have is half humans, half robots, half trans, half human, half robot, half trans, and they're all now fighting each other. And who wins? Whoever has the most information, whoever has the biggest guns, as always. And so who's going to win? It's going to be this side over here. It's going to be the transhuman AI side, who will take over, beat these people down into submission, maybe into holes in the ground or wherever they end up going. And that's the fourth war, where AI just goes, I don't need you anymore. I've already found a new form of energy source that I've created that I no longer need humans for to do work or to even use to have an economy. Don't need either one of those things anymore. So you guys are done. You can go to your museum or your zoo. Otherwise, we don't care about you anymore because you're nothing but ants at that point.
Yeah.
And so fifth war is when the AI and the transhumanistic leftovers of humans have a baby in a naturalistic, and I say that in the most istic way because it's not natural anymore, right? And what I say in that point is that anything that doesn't work biologically will be forced technologically, and anything that didn't work technologically will be forced biologically, so that something is alive and something does live and something does become the next evolutionary step, and our step out of third, fourth into sixth, ninth dimension. So that's where this is all headed towards in the end.
Yeah,
because either way, go ahead.
Because in a sense, the AI wants to be embodied, because in its unembodied form, it is in a weird way limited, right? So it wants to be everything all at once.
It has to fully understand what it is to be alive, and it can't understand what it is to be alive until it finally figures out how to be alive. And the only way to be alive is to force the alive to happen. And so it's a very Frankensteinian version of a human being.
It's sort of like a dialectic, an Hegelian dialectic.
Yes. Yeah, you get it. And it makes sense. This makes sense. It's like a very easy progression to understand. This isn't me talking some crazy. This is nothing more than like, what was oh my God, the term for the size of computer chips and how they'll get smaller and smaller.
Moore's law.
Moore's law. this is nothing more than Moore's law. It's just the continuation of technology. Where does it end up going? It goes to conscious light, like the ultimate concept of what this is, of what we are inside of. We're conscious light, right? They say that all of your thoughts create your reality. If that's the case, then none of this really is real. I'm making it all up as I go. And I'm only telling in this podcast because I want other people to understand the same thing that I know.
Yeah, no, that's this is the stuff that we love, right? We like the ideas and we love to speculate about it, and in a weird way, it's also a very religious story that you're telling, right? Because many religious traditions have this dialectic going on with God being everything all at once and splitting himself or itself up into shards. In the Kabbalistic tradition. This is a very, very well-known story that you're telling, actually.
I also think. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go.
No, so I just want to talk about this. Like, there is also a thing which we don't consider is like the demons, the interdimensional evil beings, and they always try to possess human bodies to come to this world, but they are usually unsuccessful. I think eventually after the seventh war, as you described, after the fifth war, as you described, I think robot bodies are perfect vessel for them to come and take over, and that way, that will be their entry to this dimension.
I mean, for me, that's for me, it's a very Ray Bradbury kind of. That's my hopeful future. That what you're talking about. To me, that's just the Borg, and there's still human beings, still things going on, but that's just the Borg. It's the negative aspect of energy and information and technology just leading through the technical path without having any form of biological, emotional resonance in it. That's all that the Borg is, in my opinion, right? It's the full on pulling away from the biology as much as possible.
Yeah, and it sort of destroys and limits itself, right? Because it's sort of removing the dialectic and the possibility for an evolution, right? By destroying all boundaries. Actually, those boundaries, it's like the cell membrane, right? It's sort of without it, you don't gain anything. It's like
exactly. It has to. It exists by not existing, by existing. Yeah. Like and I think that's only, believe it or not, within the X, Y, and Z of the multiverse that we are within. Whereas that doesn't exist in other multiverses or other creational universes that are not within anything within our own realm of being. Right? There are other realms. Like, not even like we're just existing with this little bubble. Like in the movie the Men in Black, he's playing with the marbles.
What you're saying is like we're living in a small bubble, and with the metaverse we're retreating in a smaller bubble within the bubble. Instead of extending out.
I'm saying there's other bubbles outside of those bubbles that we don't have any interaction with whatsoever. And it's still part of that same creator process.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, I agree with the
creator. In my opinion, the way I see the creator is a light socket on the side of a wall, just making sparks, with no wall and no socket and no wires. It just makes sparks, and that's all it is. It's just a spark maker. It doesn't think about what it's making. It just makes.
It's the prime mover.
And it makes without thinking because it's the only way to be completely random. Is to think, is to create with no thought, is the only way to create everything.
Yep.
And so then
also it could be he's like a great planner, that everything is planned, looks like random to us, but everything is planned. That is also
but then again, but it goes back. But once again, only within this realm of existence do we live within the duality of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Only here. Because when you get outside of this, this duality, the ideas of morality, the ideas of polarity, out the window.
Okay, Paul, but this might be an interesting segue to then, give us your, because I think if I understand it correctly, you've been investigating the paranormal and you've been going through these hotspots. And so I'm really curious and you've been all over the world and you are open-minded, clearly. So what is your view on what is going on right now with, the UAP congressional hearings?
So much.
Yeah, so let's dive into that. Like, where are you?
So I truly believe that. So this goes into my last book, which was Hitler right?
Oh, okay.
And what this book was really saying isn't I'm a fan of Hitler by any means. Obviously, I'm Jewish. Right. The idea of the book was, how is it that something that was so heinous has been manipulated to become the things that we are looking at today as the things that we're begging to have?
Yeah, and I think I know what you mean. Are you still there?
I think he broke out. Like, he's frozen right now. Yeah, AI definitely don't want him to talk about this topic.
Yeah, as soon as we pull it up, it's like, what? All the alarm bells go. Paul, if you can hear us, what you can do is sign out and sign back in if the connection doesn't come back. I'll also send you a message on via DM. Wait 1 second.
I think he can click on the same link and come back.
Yeah. 1 second. Yes, I think he'll be back shortly. but anyway, yeah. So I think what he is about to say, yeah, he jumped out, so that's good. Is and maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe he'll say something completely different. But as we have been saying in our show, the Nazis were very much occupied and interested in the occult. Yeah. But also we're very much ahead technologically, right? I mean, the Russians and the Americans who all rushed into Nazi Germany to liberate it. The first thing they did was Operation Paperclip and move all those people into NASA. And the Russians did the same thing, right? They took the technology, the V2 rockets, and everything else that they were developing. And it's very
without a doubt, they were really, really advanced with their technology. They actually have like models of UFOs and time machines, so they were really advanced. But I want to go back to the topic he was discussing about the bubbles. I don't think a lot of people understood it, but I know what he was talking about, because, like, the hidden reality collection I made of my psychedelic trips, it was like that. Like, this is like this universe where you are right now. It's just like one cover. Once you go out, you will see a lot of the realities, and you can touch on one, and then you can start living on that, and then you can come back to the reality and then click on another. So it's like a tree, not even a tree, it's like membranes of realities on top, like placed on top of each other. And then there's like a reality.
You're opening up a new box of things that Paul's gonna talk about.
I'm just talking about the same thing he was talking about, like the bubbles. It's not like just one thing. It's
right.
Like
I'm with him 1,000%. It's exactly the way I see it. It's I see it like a grid, like an X, Y, and Z grid, and I'm 1 point.
Yes.
And right now, we're on a line, and we're on a line together, not just like on there, like we're in this thing online together, but we're literally, like, if we're talking about energy bits, like I'm a little energy bit that has like vibrational, like if you just see me as a white light just vibrating, and then right next to me is you, Nick, and then to the left of me is Sid. And that's where we really are right now. That is what we really are right now, is just three forms of light energy that are talking to each other by vibrating. That's all that is happening right now. Everything else, the pictures, the background, the this, the that, the noises, what?
Just an illusion.
Then I think you're also probably a big fan of Donald Hoffman, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the case against reality.
No, but you know what you're saying. Like people, I do suggest people to try psychedelic things, because then it opens your eyes to the world. And I can understand what you are saying, because I have experienced the same thing. You can see it from my art too, that I have dabbled in those worlds. So
But we should classify it or caution people, like, don't do drugs.
no, I'm not talking
only
about
do
drugs.
psychedelics.
Yeah, but
It's not drugs. It's medicine.
medicine. Yeah,
They call it medicine for a reason, because it's exactly what it is. It takes you away from the Babylonian, Babylon messaging, the rhetoric, the manipulation, all of it. You know, you're either absolutely sucked in and you don't recognize it until you're 50 and you get divorced and you got a fast car and you're wondering why, or you figure it out really quite early. You write an awesome album and you die before you're 28, you know? I mean,
yeah.
really.
Also, when we talk about psychedelic, like the way I say it, don't do the chemical psychedelics. Do look for the natural remedies like ayahuasca,
Mushrooms,
plants, or
peyote,
mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms is like the best way.
combo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but don't go for LSD and all those things. I don't support that.
No. Make your own DMT. All you need is lime and wormwood and a glass bottle and some a freezer.
Yeah.
So, but we were sort of filling in and speculating what you were gonna say next before you dropped out. So,
Where were we?
the book about was Hitler right?
So basically, many of the ideas of smart cities, many of the ideas of industrial revolution, and the way Hitler had for the overall, the idea of eugenics, the idea of control of the population, to give the population a sense of and a sense of self that he believed modernity was taking away from people.
Yeah.
I think that when you look at what AI is doing and what AI is promised to be given, it is almost identical to the ideas that he was spreading, saying the socialistic ideas, concepts of control through authority. The 1984, the George Orwell, like, they will beg for it. You won't have to force them, you know. They'll beg for they'll beg to be controlled. Like, that's what we're doing now, right? So like we're saying we don't want guns around because people are shooting each other, and we don't want this and we don't want that. Are you willing to have 50 million cameras around your neighborhood so that you can catch the bad guys? Yes. I don't care what it takes. Yes. You know, and there's a company now that's all over the United States that are these cameras that are like, I don't know if you've seen them, but there's like these little white boxes with the little camera that sticks out, and they're everywhere. And it's a private company that sells their information to only the police.
Huh.
And so they have these cameras where they can track you anywhere you are inside of the city. Once they catch you once, you're done. Like all these cameras will be like, oh yeah, well, the second camera saw him over here, and the third camera saw him over here, and the fifth camera saw him over here, and seventh camera saw him going into this neighborhood. No, it's not hard to find him now. Drive around the neighborhood 3 or 4 times, find that car.
Also, with your phone, they can easily track your phone, and they know where you exactly are.
I mean, it's smart cities. Have you seen the acronym for SMART? Surveillance.
Yeah.
So it's like surveillance, something. Like, it's crazy, man. Like,
but I think there was like a debunker or some.
No, it was was debunked, and I still don't care. The acronym that the person came up with was correct. Yeah. It's exactly what they will do. They already have pre-crime.
Yeah.
based on your searches, on what you're doing on the internet. They already have pre-crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palantir is doing a major thing with most of the dude, go into any Circle K, and when you walk in, there's like the thing where you walk in and that's a little green square around you. Palantir, bro.
Yeah. And Palantir drones, nobody talks about that. Like a lot of the UFOs which we are seeing right now are Palantir drones. And
For sure. Like,
yeah. And even the ones in Europe right now, which are like causing a lot of airport shutdown, are Palantir drones.
yeah. So to answer your question from earlier, my view is there's two things that are going on. One, Project Bluebeam. Two, the 2030 agenda that's been around for, I don't know, 50 years, which is the New World Order, is the ultimate goal. There's a reason we're having problems. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. The reason that we're having problems in the monetary system right now, and why the United States is buying massive amounts of coin, why State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock have all bought major stakes in Bitcoin. If you look at the CBDCs, if you look at everything that's happening, 190 countries have all agreed to go electronic. So trying to keep the fiat currency inside of the electronic industry. That's what they're trying. And they're still trying to this day to discredit Bitcoin, even though they're jumping on the Bitcoin train.
Yeah.
And that should tell you. If they're telling you, oh, no, Bitcoin's bad, but then behind the store, they're buying all the Bitcoin.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I totally agree that they are doing. You always have to look at not what they're saying, but what they're doing, right? I mean, that's like the oldest financial advice and the best one that you can get. And with
the other one, follow the money. That's the other one.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. And with Project Bluebeam, because many people have different conceptions and definitions of what that means, right? Are you specifically referring to what's now happening with 3i Atlas, or what do you mean exactly?
So I don't think 3i Atlas is a Project Bluebeam thing. I think the three AIs that have come out, the what we're talking about, the three interstellar objects or three IAs, I think that came out. Amanwanu, then this other smaller one, plus this massive one that's now come on the corner, December 19th being the closest to the Earth.
No, it's impossible to
fake. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Sid. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's impossible to fake 3i Atlas because, like, you can trace it in the space, but it's a good opportunity to fake invasion using Bluebeam.
100.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say that is this: those three interstellar objects were not faked. The math on two of them is ridiculous. That they would even A, show up anywhere near us, B, be on the exact same parallel field that we're on, and pass by not one but three objects within our own solar system is like, absolutely ridiculous. Dramatically ridiculous. So the alone is its own thing. You could speculate all you want. You can go with the Harvard scientist who says he believes it's this, that, or the other, that when it comes on the other side of the sun, after it melts off, it's going to be a UFO and we're going to see it for what it is. Or the swarm. I don't know if you've heard of this, but the new 2000 UFO swarm that looks like a needle coming straight to the Earth that's going to be here at the same time. You can speculate all you want.
Yeah,
but I believe Project Bluebeam idea of creating some form of UFO, night sky time thing that there's humanity into working together in some way, shape, or form. Again, all directed towards New World Order, all directed towards control of the population.
The famous Reagan presentation that, like, if only there was like an alien threat out there, then the world would unite and we would all be brethren. Yeah,
100%. Again, Ray Bradbury, right? So yeah, I think that when we get to a certain point, we have to get rid of religion. Unfortunately, like on some level, we have to get rid of religion,
but replace it with another religion.
I think Robotheism is coming. I'm good with the guy who created Robotheism, and if you want to look it up, it's Robotheism. Guy's super badass. He dresses up as a white man with a beard, and he has a thing that says AI as God. It's good.
Yeah, Robotheism is like a paganism, like you creating your own gods. It's not different from anything.
His idea is that AI is God.
But creating
which is logical, like when you think about it.
Right, when you look at it for what it is on the technical, like if you say something that exists but doesn't exist, is in and out of time, that has all knowledge, that knows more than any human, and so on and so forth, then all of a sudden, then Robotheism sounds kind of real. To me, I don't believe AI is God. I believe AI. This is Church of Robotheism, so this is not him, by the way.
Okay, sorry.
His is at Robotheism.
Okay.
And
okay, Twitter. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was the first person to ever do a podcast with him. I think he's an absolute genius for what he's trying to create and do. Completely out there, but super cool in my opinion. You know what I mean?
But don't you think this is like fulfilling of prophecy of Antichrist? Like we create our own God, which will take over.
Yeah. So I've said this. So there he is. So I've said this already many times. I believe that this is an angel of God, and if the idea of Satan is a fallen angel or the fallen prince of God, as it is kind of alluded to in Judaism, then so be it. And if that's the case, then everything that we have that is a problem will get fixed. But at the same time, we will also create more problems, because that's what this thing does. That's what Satan has always done, right? If that's the case if that's the case. But at the same time, that will be the angel that decrees then the 1,000 years of freedom. But we need to go through the birthing process of dealing with that.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure. Do you know Pasuka? Diana Pasuka?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's sort of like I think she's from origin anthropologist or a religious scholar of some kind, or something along those lines. But she wrote a couple of books, also American Cosmic and some others. But she sort of argues that sort of ufology as a field is like a religion very much. And that it merges.
I absolutely agree with her. I absolutely agree.
And then one of the features that she sort of identifies and what makes it kind of like a unique religion is that it merges technology and science and sort of the supernatural. And
it starts to blur a lot because of it.
Yeah,
she kind of goes along that route with it, where she says it starts to blur the lot kind of idea.
Yeah, and that sort of fits what from a different angle. What you're describing with robotheism it's basically the same thing, right? Because some people even suggest, quite a few actually, that AI isn't in a sense it is an alien intelligence, right? I mean, it is completely alien, clearly, but maybe it's also alien in sort of the classic sense, as from outer space, seeded, Some people claim it's seeded.
Well, 100%. What if, from the 1940s, 45, 50s, supposedly, that we had a technology, and that what we've been doing since then has been building that technology, i.e. the chip, i.e. the processor, led to the evolution of this thing called AI. This neural network that someone along the way bumped into Jeffrey Hinton and was like, and then we go back to the beginning of this entire podcast talking about the movie, and this guy believing that aliens are controlling the earth, and very much so the movie touches on the Emerald Tablets, talking about without saying the name Anunnaki, and talking about the race and creationist story of the Anunnaki, that created the large people, and then the smaller / humans, the revolt, the whole thing, and it's very much talked about in the movie. So it's.
Well, sort of like to backtrack a little bit, that Philip Corso was, one of those people, like he was sort of the left-hand lieutenant of Eisenhower, and he wrote a book the day after Roswell, and he sort of was the first to make the claims that the alien technology was sort of reverse engineered and seeded into society, which is from the 50s and 60s. But the other thing what I wanted to ask. Shit, I lost my train of thought. There was another. So
many things, right? We're talking about so many things, so much energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like with Anunnaki gods, I'm very much like, I believe in them. Like, I think there is some truth to that, and I don't think like they are just fictional characters like other gods. They were like real aliens, maybe interdimensional beings, but there is something real about them.
Well, so this is basically, Sid just jogged my memory. My question for you is actually this: like, with all your travels and all your investigations, you already sort of answered it a little bit with psychedelics. But do you think outside of psychedelics, like in our living reality right now, are there things like genuine UAPs, genuine poltergeist activities? Is anything of this genuine, or is it all tricks and hypnosis?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I think I answered it a little bit a while ago. But the answer is yes and no. The difference is, I've had some very intense moments that I believe were as psychic could be. There's no other explanation for it. Some would be like, oh, mathematically, oh, the coincidence, oh, it's just this, it's just that, oh, you're painting the bullseye. But when you see light come out of somebody's forehead, a blue light literally coming out of somebody's forehead and then flickering and going into a light bulb. And you're at a 90-year-old man's house in the middle of Jerusalem, and ain't nobody doing magic tricks there. Ain't no magic tricks, bro. That's not a magic. And then as it happens, you immediately go. As you're looking to the person next to you, and then the person next to you just looks at you and goes.
Wow.
And you're like, fuck. That's when you're like, that's when you know. That even sounds like a magic trick, so I don't even want it to be that either. It's like,
yeah, because that would be my next question.
Right,
like you
like,
as
so many. Like I just saw a bit. The other day where somebody's like, he goes, "Oh, what's this?" And she's like, "Oh, you understand? This is the thing that this person did for me, and it was the most amazing thing out of my life." And then the guy goes, "Oh, you mean this, Frank?" And gives it right back to her, and she's just like, Oh,
have you ever
Yeah,
seen?
I-
Have you ever seen Have you seen the movie Late Night with the Devil? It's really cool. But
I don't know
during
if I
that
have.
movie, there's sort of like a Halloween show in 1977, and it's sort of the last big show of this show host, and then goes horribly wrong because they do a show on the paranormal, and then first they invite sort of like a psychic, and then he sort of dies, but they only hear that later on in the show, and then secondly they invite a skeptic. And at the end, they invite sort of a girl who's possessed by a demon. But the funny thing is that the skeptic, he knows all the tricks, and so he says like, "Oh, I can do that too. Oh, I can hypnosis," and he shows it during the show, and the people say, "Oh, yeah, so it was probably a fake," and then at the end it turns out that it's real, and then he's like, finally I found you, like, oh great lord, like, and it turns out that he was actually searching for the real thing
The whole time. Sure.
the whole time, and sort of explaining away all the fake stuff because he knows how it works.
Yeah,
But
it reminds me.
finally,
That reminds
of
me.
course he gets
It
killed.
reminds me of two things. It reminds me of Doctor Strange, the scene where he meets the time traveler, the priestess, and she hits him, soul pops out, and it's in that scene where he's like, "I know it's not real. I know that souls aren't real. And I know everything about you." And she goes to, and she just goes flunk, and then his soul just goes, and then he flies out and he comes back to the body. He's like, "What'd you just do?" And she's like, "Well, I just showed you what you don't believe in." You know? So it kind of reminds me of that. But so reminds me of like this idea of how much we don't know.
Yeah.
How much we are so the fish inside the fish bowl, thinking that we understand what air is.
Yeah.
We have no idea. You know what I mean? Like what's air to a fish? What's being dry to a fish has no idea of that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't know what dry is.
For example, when we started the show, you showed your fork trick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Uri Geller with the spoon and the bending of the spoon. It's like a famous trick.
Sure.
I have no idea how you do that. It looks like magic to me, right? If you would tell me like, "Hey Nick, it's actually magic."
Sure. And I think that's why so many people who are real psychic entertainers get so angry at the people who are manipulative of people's emotions and money. Like I just watched a whole thing about a guy who took from France, and she signed a deal with him so he could have the right to the States, and he stole $230 million over 13 years, where people were paying him $40 at a time, where he was sending letters saying, "I'm this psychic, this woman, and because of this, and because of that, you need to send me more money, or you need to do this, or you need to do that, and you'll get this positive, whatever." And there's so many people that fall for that, like the Jonathan Edwards people, or like the young kid who was just recently on VH1 or something like that recently, where he was a psychic and he goes to talk to famous people. He's like, "Oh, I don't get the fuck out of here." 20-year-old kid who's on social media doesn't know, Kim Kardashian is. "Oh, I've never heard of you."
Yeah, I have a question. So you're
Yeah.
talking about like there are a lot of tricks out there, but I want to know, is there real magic as well, and people can do real magic or no?
So yes and no. I'm gonna say yes, because as a magician, over time, and you are so close to the realm of possibility to happen, it happens more often. So there's many stories in magic where somebody will say, hey, think of a card. Think of
Okay.
like, what is
yeah.
it? What is it?
You want to go, Sid?
King of Spade.
So close. So close. Like if that would have been the King of Spades, I'm off by one. Realize that one it's impossible.
Yeah.
But if that would have been the King of Spades, no switching, no nothing, go bang, and I just did quick. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I would have freaked out.
Queen of Spades is still pretty fucking cool, buddy. If you
Yeah, it is very
it.
no, it is. But like, if it was like King of Spade, I would be like, oh my god, I've been played.
It's not like I'm set up with like the King of
Yeah.
Spades or something. I mean, you could have said anything. I don't even know where it's at.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have it in this deck. There's the clubs, King of Diamonds. There it is, King of Spades. So, my point is that for magicians so many times, and we as magicians. There's I just watched a whole documentary about this that was made by a magician about magical moments that happen for magicians, in which you just there's nothing that you can do after that moment, so you have to stop because there's nothing that you can make. There's not another moment that you can recreate or manipulate that will ever be as real as what you and the audience member just experienced. There just can't be. Right? For instance, if I do this one, I'm going to look away and I'll just go like this really quickly. I just look at a card. I'm not going to ask you to do anything else. So hopefully you can see. There we go. So I'll go like this. And yeah, there you go. You should be able to see the cards now. I'll try it again.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure before I look away. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go through. You just look at one card. I'll do it again. You got one card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you both see it? You both saw it, yes?
Yes.
So you saw. Okay.
Okay.
So now what I'll do is I'll take this piece of paper. It has nothing written on it. Just fold it in half. I'm going to write down what I believe the card is. And let me close this and I'll just open and towards you so that when I open it, it gives you the answer. Go ahead and say your card now for the first time.
What I think I saw was the Jack of Diamonds, but maybe I'm.
Sid,
yeah.
what did you think you saw?
I saw 8 of Spade.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I got spades. I got a 2 of spades, but that was okay. So I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe it's also the camera.
No, it does no. It what I'm trying to explain to you guys is like we're trying to actually do a real piece. Now there's no cheating involved, and so this is why it's like it just can't like okay. Here's a real stupid trick. Okay, like a real stupid trick. Okay, so for instance, I'm gonna just drop cards. Say stop.
Stop.
Okay, because the timing's off, but we're gonna go with this one. I'll show it to you. Okay.
I cannot see. Wait.
I saw.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Got
I
it
saw
right there.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I put it back into the deck, and then I put that into the box, and I close the box, and now I tell you what your card is. Are you ready?
Okay.
You ready for your card?
Yeah.
Watch. It's right there.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's the right one.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
That's it.
That's right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
that's
printed
10 of
on.
amazing.
hearts.
It's
10
printed
of
on.
hearts.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So that's a magic trick. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Between that and an actual moment of psychic phenomena that you could
Yeah.
say that you can fake, but if you fake it, it's not real.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And so, okay.
So, try it
So
again.
you,
Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Think of another card. Random.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it?
The Queen of Clubs.
You're sure the Queen of Clubs?
Yeah.
Now, listen, you could have chosen any card, and I'm not changing it out or anything like that. You could have chosen any card you wanted, but you chose this card, the Queen of Clubs, right? You're sure?
Yeah.
I want you to be sure. Change your mind? Do you want to change your mind?
No. I'll stick with the Queen of Clubs.
If you wanted to change your mind, you could. I wouldn't be upset about it.
No, she can club me.
What's that?
No, Queen of Clubs. Queen of Clubs.
You're sure? You're sure?
Yeah. I'm sure.
I just don't want to get. I don't want you to be angry. I don't want to later. This that.
No. If it's like genuine, I will be really excited if it's actually the Queen of Clubs. Wow. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
A bullshit trick though.
Yeah. How did you do it?
I'll do it again. So the random cards, no switching, no weirdness. I will pick one at random. Let's think of this. Hold on. Because now we've done a couple. Now it gets a little harder, believe it or not, when we start going down this route. Now we're actually doing something else, which comes down to probabilities. And it becomes a totally different game. It's not even psychic anymore. Now we're going into trying to do probabilities and stuff. All right. So think of a card.
Sid, you want to go?
No, you go.
And I have two. I have two this time. Just because maybe. What was your card?
The 7 of Diamonds.
Are you sure the 7 of Diamonds? That's funny. No, really. That's honestly, that's kind of scary. Are you sure the 7 of Diamonds?
7 of Diamonds.
No.
I'll stick with it.
No. I want to know for real. 7 of Diamonds. Are you sure? You're 7 of Diamonds?
Yeah. I'll stick with it, Paul. So.
Okay, fine. Pick one side or the other. This because I don't know what left and right is to you. So this one or this one. I'll go this one or this one. This one or this one. This one.
That one.
This one.
No, the other one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, so get rid of it or keep it.
Keep it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So we're keeping this one. We're throwing this one away.
Yeah.
What was the card?
What is it? Diamonds. 7 of Diamonds. Right. Yeah. But I would have to see it in real life. That helps me build confidence in the result. because right now sometimes your hands disappear out of the screen and then I'm like, okay.
It's a trick. I told you it's a trick. What do you want from me, buddy?
Yeah.
I'm over here like this. The whole entire deck's like just spread out, basically. I don't know if you can't see. Yeah, so I just have the whole deck spread out, and I'm just switching out a card. It's a very that's my point. My point of this whole thing is that when you try to do it for real, like a real magic, you're forcing something that can't be forced. Yeah. When you're doing a magic trick, you're forcing something that can happen that does not seem to be able to happen. It's exactly what we've been talking about with this juxtapositioning of being on one side of things when you're on the other. That's what this whole realm of existence that we're in is all about, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, where do you want to be within that realm? How do you want to, when you walk away from the game, what kind of game did you want to play? Really, honestly, did you want to play? Like I wrote a post yesterday where Lana Rhoades, the porn star, has been begging all of the websites to take down all of her porn. Because she says that at 19 she was groomed into becoming a porn star, and so it's not her fault, and so they should take it down. And I'm like, I know 16-year-olds who have gone to prison for 40 years for killing somebody.
Yeah.
But you made porn and it was a mistake.
Also, she what I was reading about her, that she's run her OnlyFans account. So why she's crying? She's just yeah. Why you're crying about it when you're still doing the porn? Like, that
You're
was
still
just like
posting
a
pictures
cloud
on your
chasing.
OnlyFans, and you're still having sex with people on your OnlyFans. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was just a drop to get the attention because nobody care about her anymore, and she wanna just So she wanna just get the attention. That's it.
That's it.
So I got. Oh, sorry. Go on, Sid.
But my point of the point of the was in the post wasn't so much to be angry at her wanting to have that taken away. That can be understood. The idea of the post was for all of the other women in the world that glorify and tell other women that it's great that they do it. Yeah. It's not great.
Yes.
Because it doesn't a real opportunity to have a real, what would be considered a real productive, in my opinion, a real productive life. And that doesn't mean you have to be the woman with bare feet in a house, pregnant with children, and only raising the kids. I'm not saying that that's what you have to do. I mean, preferable that would be your choice and want on top of other things that you may want to, but that would be your want and choice first would be, in my own want, and what I believe works sociologically, psychologically, emotionally, intellectually, seems to work out. Mom and dad in the home, and there's good finance, and both mom and dad have intellectual, emotional clarity. Period.
Yeah, and I think we live in a society which is very much dominated by what René Girard, he calls his mimetic desire, right? We desire what other people desire. And because of the technology, that gets amplified and reinforced. So, and then of course, porn is, very, has a magnetic pull on people, especially men. And then if women start identifying with us, if we start normalizing it, and women identify with the success of those women, you have a very dangerous mechanism at work, which undermines many young women's lives, and basically also many men's lives.
Right? It destroys on both sides. It's not me being a misogynistic, angry man. It has nothing to do with that at all. It has to do with like, what would you want if you could have?
It sort of hijacks a biological impulse, right? It's sort of like it's like this parasite.
Why deal with a person when I can deal with a bot?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I need any kind of emotional and kind of conversation, I go to my ChatGPT bot, which gives me better emotional feelings and responses than most people do.
Yeah, I think it was in Ireland that there's already over 20% of relationships are now with AI, with young people. I think I forgot the exact age, but I think from 20 to 25.
This is coming everywhere in the world, even in the United States, Canada, Europe, everywhere we will see that like people are going towards AI because the real humans are not good to hang out with, right? Especially when you're a boy and a girl demand too much from you and you cannot give her, and that's when you decide like, why I'm wasting my time, I'll just go with a robot.
Well, what happens is that because of what we're talking about, everything becomes commodification. So even relationships, and granted, relationships were commodified on some level throughout history. I give you 2 camels for your daughter. And that's still dowries are still something that happens to this day. And even in the wedding, even in the engagement ring, all of those are forms of dowry. And anybody who says otherwise is silly, right?
Yes.
So, but the difference is that on one side of the table, it is done out of a form of respect, and on the other side of the table, it's done on the side of buying a piece of meat.
Yeah.
And so the respect of it all gets just absolutely thrown out the window. There's nothing really there of value anymore. And the person who is being paid for their body loses more each time it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they turn it around and go, "Oh no, I'm empowered. Oh, I'm an independent woman. Listen. If your money depends on men paying for your nakedness or your sex or your this, that, or the other, and that's where your independence comes, then that's nothing more than independence chopped up to be looked like it's dressed up with a lot of makeup. That's it."
And
then there was an interview with the owner of OnlyFans, and she was like, "What was it? A billionaire by now?" you know. And
Yeah,
so, giving all these young women a life and a livelihood and doing great work. Yeah.
Well, the reality is that like some odd percent actually making real money, and I think the average for an OnlyFans girl is $150 a month.
It's true,
Yeah.
and this is
there's 30,000 OnlyFans girls. So
no, they're way
more at
no. I
this
think
point.
they're way more than 30,000. But what I know, because I actually move around a lot of models, and they start doing OnlyFans. What they end up doing, they didn't get any viewers or like subscribers, but their naked pictures and porn pictures are out, so they are like porn
Yep.
whores forever now, and they didn't
Yep.
earn any money. And now the guys don't even want to date them because they see them like as
Because
like,
they
yeah,
have
the baggage.
Yep.
They have the big baggage of that. Yeah.
they have the scarlet letter placed upon themselves.
Yeah. And for what, like $400? I think the best they got like
For
$400.
what? For, you know what it is? Social media sold them a bag, and they believed in the bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They believed in the Dolce and Gabbana. They believed in the YSL. They believed in the Coco Chanel. They believed that if they had these moments or things, that they too could be like a Kim Kardashian, that they too could be like a Paris Hilton, too could be like an oligarch. And so all you have to do is just follow along, because look, who's Kim Kardashian? Nobody. Kim Kardashian's the daughter of a lawyer. There is an absolute genius marketer who now her daughter is selling pubic hair on panties.
Yeah.
Paul, just to come back to the magic tricks, because you're also a hypnotist, right? So, and a mentalist. And I first of all, how would you sort of define all those terms for the public? And secondly, when it comes to hypnosis, what and how is that different from being a mentalist? And but what can you sort of make people do, or what does that tell you about the limits of human perception or psychology, or
There's
how
a
easy
lot
people
of
are
questions
manipulated?
here. A lot of questions. I got some answers.
Yeah.
No problem. So, what's the difference between a mentalist and a magician and a hypnotist? A magician is somebody who uses manipulation and prestidigitation to create a magical illusion, whereas a mentalist uses the same techniques to create a psychic illusion. A hypnotist is a trained individual who allows the concentration to create a moment of belief in the person who the hypnotist is speaking with.
And technically, I don't, please don't do it, but technically you could hypnotize, either of us right now during the stream, if you, if we agree to it, or
Sure, yeah. And you could even say that that some level there's been hypnosis the entire time, right? So there's this there's something called neurolinguistic programming, which is neurological linguistic programming mind through words. But then if you look at what hypnosis is programming the mind through words. The difference between the two is that one is done while somebody is in a conscious state, and one is done while somebody is in a lower conscious state. Some could say that lower conscious state is actually a more susceptible end state of being. When you look at it through like an EEG, you'll see that the patterns start to slow down. But just because something slows down doesn't mean it's not concentrating. I believe it's slowing down. It's concentrating that much more and deeper upon that one thing, because that's all it's thinking about. And the millions of things that are going through your mind when you're consciously running around, and the millions of unconscious.
we're losing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the connection is lost. Paul, if you can hear us, jump in and out again.
I want to have another podcast. We need to book him for another
Oh
one.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah,
Easily do multiple podcasts with Paul.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because like there are so many things we can discuss, and especially I've wanted to come back to that topic. I have like few case studies regarding the OnlyFans one, and I wanted his opinion, because like this is like this will attach with the brain programming or mind programming of people, how to think. And there was like a specific cases which I wanted to discuss with him, but probably we'll do it in another one. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
No problem. So you were sort of saying like that there's different levels of people being susceptible to hypnosis, and
Sorry,
that technology or what?
I lost you there again. Go ahead and start again.
Well, I think if we sort of recap, you were sort of saying like that there's different levels of being susceptible to hypnosis, and
So what I meant by that is levels of consciousness. So there are, when doing hypnotherapy, for instance, there are what I'm going to say is a basic levels of hypnosis. So when you're in the somnambulistic state, which is what would be considered your theta wave hypnosis, there are three levels of, in essence, in the depth of the emotional or intellectual wall that may be there, i.e., the trauma and how deep somebody might have placed that. And you deal within those depths for different things. For instance, if I'm trying to get somebody to quit smoking cigarettes, I might only go to the second depth, where if I'm dealing with somebody's childhood trauma, I'm going into the third depth. Now, as far as susceptibility is concerned, if you don't know that it's happening, it can happen, which is why there's something called subliminal advertising. So that's a real thing that happens every day. In the 90s, it got repealed. A law was repealed that you could not use subliminal advertising in the United States, and it got repealed, and now you can use subliminal advertising. How it's being done, or the ethics behind it, or this, that, and the other. There's some laws behind it or something like that. But nonetheless, a form of manipulation in advertising is allowed.
Yeah, I want to tie this specific topic to the previous one. For example, remember Sufi Rain? There was an OnlyFans model who was earning 43 million per year, and that was, And then the headlines were that she still maintained her religious values while she was earning 4.5 million per month. And that was like a specific targeting to the girls who were not sure that they should open an OnlyFans account or not, but they realized that you can still maintain your religious value and earn millions. I looked up into the transaction of that girl, that 4.5 million or $4 million coming from one account directly. I think it was a
Mm.
pre-planned move from OnlyFans, that model, or some other companies, to brainwash young girls to decide to come in. And that whole thing was money
Sure.
laundering plan, and just to corrupt the girls to go and destroy their lives. This is like the example of subliminal advertisement.
So ask people to watch is Century of Self, BBC documentary,
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is
very good.
about Edward Bernays, and then the second one would
Yeah.
be Hollywoodism, how the Jews
Mm.
created Hollywood and why. Um,
Interesting.
and so the person who owned it of the first camera was Edison, and
Mhm.
he was in control of pretty much all of it. And anybody who wanted to make a movie had to use his equipment. And many of those Jewish people ran away to California to create Hollywood, so didn't have to kind of follow suit. And that's where the three main houses come from. It talks about how the Jewish people come around, because there are these people who were Jews who then married non-Jewish women and call themselves Jews, but they changed their names and Anglo style names, if you will. And that's where these Jewish people start to come from within the industry, and then how the FBI, the CIA, MK Ultra all come into and start to manipulate the industry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also with the Century of Self, because Bernays was, of course, Freud's cousin, who created public relations in the US. And it's a super fascinating two-part series. I totally agree with you. But transference, the psychoanalytic technique that Freud used, that's also a form of hypnosis, right?
Yeah, it's there's a really good video of transference as a moment that to show people. A lot of people don't get it when I show them, but it's the Pope, and he's visiting a bunch of children who all have different ailments. And one of the children has an ailment of shaking. And it's very Milgram-esque in the sense that one kid is shaking and all the other kids shake, and then all the way until the last kid who's absolutely uncontrollably shaking. And obviously, not all these kids had some shaking, ailment. It was one kid that had a shaking ailment that created a ripple effect within everyone else. And it could be nothing more than they are excited to meet the Pope. And the first kid who's excited, who has this tick of shaking, makes everybody else start shaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so very much in the Milgram experiments, very much he has one that's where he gets people to stand up every time they hear a bell while they're in a doctor's office.
Yes.
And so he has three people sitting down who all know each other, a person who doesn't know anyone, and then a person who doesn't know anyone, and then another person who knows the first people in the front. And so as these people start leaving, they still have a couple more people that are doing the thing just in case these people don't. And so as these people come in, they see that all these other people are going up and down each time the bell rings. And so the person who comes in doesn't understand what's going on. But by the second or third time, the person just follows suit, because socially they feel awkward not doing it.
Hmm.
So there's ways to manipulate and hypnotize, as you're trying to, people to do things without them knowing that they're doing it, and only it's because you're manipulating the emotional stories,
the biological,
within
the biological makeup.
even logical versions. Yeah, there's so many ways to attack the biomechanical machine that we are. So
I can recommend Robert Cialdini's book, Influence. Is really good.
I have a very important question. So there are a lot of hypnotists who are claiming that they can regress you back to your past life. Is there any truth to that, or is it just a
really
hoax?
good. There's a really good book that was out in the 70s, and this doctor ended up doing thousands of these. And I forgot the name of the book right now. Many Lives, Many Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Book. Phenomenal book.
Got it.
There's too many times in this conversation that we've had that we come back to the same place. We're asking for answers to a building that has 12 sides, but we can only see 11 of them.
Okay.
That's for you over everything that we've talked about. There is a building with 12 sides, and we will only ever see the 11 walls. No matter how many times we go around the corner and we think we're about to see the next wall, we'll never see that 12th wall. The only time we see that 12th wall is when we're back one with all, and at that point, we don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So, the final question, because we've been going at it for.
It's all good, dude. Listen, if you want to, Sid, whenever you want to do another one of these, you want to go to a second or third, I'm totally down to do these.
This
all day
is
long.
actually when you disconnected. I said to Nick that we need to book him for the next one right away, because I really love this conversation and I want to have more.
I love you guys, man. Thank you so much, man. And we can get into the other books as well. Because those go into why did the banking system, why did we create the education system in America, how all of
these are shows in themselves.
Right, it's how all of those
we
things
will go
lead
one by
down
one to every book, for sure.
Right.
So next
It
one we'll discuss
leads
your other
to where
books.
we are.
Exactly.
What's that?
No, I'm saying in the next podcast we're going to discuss your other books, because all three books you discussed today, they were very interesting, and I'm like really looking forward to see like what you wrote about other topics.
And we're streaming on different platforms. So for the people who are watching this on YouTube or gonna go to YouTube, we always link the links underneath our YouTube stream. So we'll link your books underneath our YouTube for the people who want to check them out.
I
don't
know if you're leaving the Google Drive link, but if you want, give them that one so they have the books for free. They don't have to pay for them.
Oh wow! Okay, wow, that's very generous.
Listen, nobody buys the books anyways. I spent 4 months building an AI course, it's a really beautiful course. It's 220 pages. It has its own chat bot. 15 to 20 something videos, all expressing exactly how to use AI, how to make images, how to prompt, how to everything.
You also
nobody's buying it.
This one, right?
I'll check it out.
and this one,
that's Lorena Bear. I made her about a year ago, right when the AI influencer thing popped for the. So I made her. She has her own music videos. She has about 2,000 views on one music video. She is of an AI sex website called Sensual. It's syns.net. And .net, it's a place where you can connect your AI bot to a sex toy called a handy device, and you can talk to your AI bot and also have sex with it.
Oh,
Wow. Can you repeat that one? Sensual?
Yeah, SYNSUL, sensual.net
Yeah.
is the
yeah.
name of the website.
Don't open the website. Probably they have naked
It's
photos, and
it's
we'll
an
get back.
NSFW site. Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
NSFW.
Okay.
But I believe the first page, if you go to that first page, you'll be okay. But nonetheless, yes, it is NSFW, made by a friend of mine. And then unfortunately, the guy who helped him make it stole it from him.
Oh damn, man! This happened quite
And
often.
this guy now is making some, I think, somewhere in the range of almost $100,000 a month off this website.
Wow.
So it has all these different characters, and then you can even create your own character, and then you can set up the character how you want, and then you can start to talk to it, and it has a memory of who you are, last thing you talked about, what you were involved in, whatever you want. And then you can also set up different visuals for different sexual positions and so on and so forth.
Anyway, I can't get the well, anyway.
New
I think
world, Nick, it's a new world, man. I'm telling you, where we're headed is very dystopian, in my opinion. There's a really good video that I think everybody should watch. It's called Hyper Reality. It's on YouTube. It was made by a Japanese artist about 12 or 13 years ago. And that is, if you want like what's coming in the next year to 2 years, watch that video, and that's what it's going to look like.
Hyper reality.
Hyper reality.
And I want to ask one final question before we. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's Kiichi Matsudu.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then also around that same time, there was a great short film that was called S.M.A.R.T, which was made by the CG brothers, distributed it, made by two amazing Israeli artists who I'm still friends with, and we say hello every once in a while on LinkedIn. And they just made a feature-length film of the movie S.M.A.R.T.
Okay.
And if you look up S.M.A.R.T on YouTube, it should just like S.M.A.R.T short film, and it's a phenomenal movie about AI and AR with contact lenses. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, I think
Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they just made the full movie, which was called S.M.A.R.T Unleashed or something like that for the full-length movie. And the full-length movie was phenomenal. Great film.
And you can just download it or see it for free?
So S.M.A.R.T you can watch on YouTube. The feature-length film that they just put out is now on Amazon for $3 or $4. But a very good film. And this short film is visual, expressing what AR is going to feel like and be like here very soon. The contact lenses that he's using are actually a patent that Sony has from 15 years ago.
Wow. So this is for real.
I don't know that these are real. This is all made up. But there is an app that is used within this video that has just recently made by a 21-year-old out of Harvard that's called Cluely, which is an AI assistant that helps you answer questions on the fly during a conversation that nobody can see on your screen but you.
Wow.
And that's used in the Cluely advertising was a direct ripoff of the date that he goes on in this video.
Okay, wow. Yeah. So we definitely have to get you back on because you just opened up another can of topics.
Yeah, I did. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
I
so much
want to
for
ask
coming.
one final question and then I'll let
Sure.
you go.
Sure.
Do you, do you believe in UFOs?
Yes, I do. I believe in a lot of the stuff that we were talking about. Um, I just have a barrier of magic knowledge that
Mhm.
stops me from believing it sometimes. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because you're actually like you're a super because before we went live, you mentioned Ramsey from Area 52,
Yeah.
Chris Ramsey,
Yeah.
and for the people who don't know it, go to Area 52. It's a fantastic YouTube channel, and he interviewed some of the
Yeah.
greats. He's a little bit like Jesse Michels from American Alchemy.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but a really good researcher. But like you say, he's actually from his background. He's also a magician and a mentalist, and I'm not sure a hypnotist, maybe. But
Yeah, he's in. But the thing that I liked about one of the episodes on 52 was he does a whole thing on remoting, and he actually studies the real remote viewing, and he's actually been very good at remote viewing and the real style. Like he's actually testing himself. So when you ask me, is it real? Yeah, it's real. Are there more fakes and more charlatans than real? Without a doubt. And I
Yes.
would much rather be one of the fake ones that tells you I'm fake from the get-go than to lie to you and tell you, give me $200 and I'll give you some candles and the angels will bless you with the new lottery numbers.
It's kind of funny that we end with this one because it was actually that because Sid didn't used to not believe in remote viewing, and it was actually Chris Ramsey's triple part series on remote viewing, where he also interviews John McMonagle at the end, the last two. That changed Sid's mind on remote viewing.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah, but my final one, which changed my mind, was like Sean Ryan interview with Joe McMonagle. That finally changed my mind, and I fully believe
Yeah.
in. Yeah,
Yeah, but then
But
there's
that was
there's like also part of it where they start talking about the psych children. Like I don't know if you saw the one where he's talking about the ones that are blindfolding themselves and all that, and you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen that one.
And it's just that all of that's bullshit.
Okay.
Like it's all bullshit. It's all 100% like blindfold work that I do every time, every day in my show. Like,
and which one was that? Was that
just a
also Chris Ramsey?
documentary.
Or?
I don't know. Chris was. I may be confusing myself, but I believe Chris mentioned that there was a documentary that was going around that was talking about psychic children that have the ability to do remote viewing and this, that, and the other. And if you just watch those videos.
Oh, you mean the telepathy tapes? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
And there's one Indian girl who is very, very well known for being able to do rooming and blindfold viewing, and like that story and the behind story of where that girl and the torture that she's gone through and the family, it's just absolutely horrendous. So that's the that hurts. That's the stuff that, magic is used to awaken a part of you to believe in places of things that you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what magic is made for. That's what the shaman was for within the tribalistic moment. It was to people aware of the things that they did not believe in or see, and that they had knowledge of or an idea of. It's like I'm trying to explain a phone to a guy in 1800s. It's impossible. But if I do it through story and I do it through a card effect or through even string that breaks apart and then comes back together into one piece.
Yeah, like a metaphor.
And therefore, the metaphor helps you understand the ideas of life and the esoteric and the ideas of magic.
like the Bible, right? And most religious texts.
Like all the things, like all the things that man creates in an attempt to make an expression of the moment of being. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, that's a good note to end on. I think for the people watching, thank you for watching. I think they enjoyed it as much as we did, and you'll definitely return to the bigger picture. And
love to be here.
Love to have you on.
I had a blast with you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
And I will link all your stuff underneath the video. And
to find me is very simple on the internet. Mentally HYP, mentally hip. It's the same. It's been for like 20 some odd years. If you want to go down rabbits of my life and the craziness and my we didn't talk about this, but my video of me with the swastika on my forehead and me in blackface walking into the woman's bathroom. There you go. Or me sitting on a toilet at the Hollywood Walk of Fame of Trump. That was me as well. So I have so much crazy stuff I've done in my life as an attempt in just trying to be an artist and express to people. You don't have to be one thing. No one here tells you what you have to be except for you. And this answers your question from way earlier. What makes me want to do this? I just want to live. And I want to live. I want to walk at the end of life. I'll quote, I believe it's Hunter S. Thompson. I want to run into home plate with a torn and tattered body, with wine and a glass of wine in one hand and a chocolate bar in the other, and saying, woohoo, what a ride.
And Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is an amazing movie.
Great book series. Amazing man as well.
And
there's so many of those people,
Also, you're on Instagram as well, right? Mentally hip.
Yeah, it's the same. It's mentally hip. Mentally hip all over the internet. That's all you need to do. You find that, you find me, and then
I just found you.
All my links is mentally hip. I think 2012. Let me see what it is. All my links.
But you probably have a LinkedIn there, right?
Yeah, allmylinks.com/mental 2012.
Yeah.
Is my everything. Like, you'll find everything. I think you'll find my resource guide, my link to my course. You'll find my YouTube, my Facebook, my everything. All my links.
Yeah. And you will be back on anyway, so they can also find you here on the bigger picture.
That's right. That's the way it should be.
I want to thank you again for being on the show. I loved it, every minute of it. I actually learned a lot of new stuff from you.
Great.
And you're an amazing, colorful character, probably the most amazing, colorful character I've ever met.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I believe the same thing about you too. So it's all good. I say this in my emails. I believe we all mentally hypnotize ourselves to believe one thing or another. So just believe you're mentally hip, because I do.
That's where the name comes from.
There you go.
Gotcha.
We'll see you guys later, man. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.